Hello everybody, joining on. I'm looking at my new American Patchwork and Quilting by Better Home and Gardens. I just got it in. I love looking through here. There's a great article about Medita Sitar in here. And look at her wall. I am super duper jealous of her wall. Look at all those minis. How cute are those? Oh my goodness. I'm super jealous. So pretty. I could get stuck in here all day. All right, well, we'll give some people some time to sign on, and then we're going to get started today. I guess I need to get a tissue. It's been cold here today, so... Oh, my goodness. Oops. All right. Well, good evening. Welcome to Facebook Live Sunday here at the Beehive. And as you can see, I had to change the time this week. I was at my niece's baby shower today, and that was the most fun. It's so neat to see someone you've grown or seen grown up from this big all the way up to full grown, amazing woman, and carrying a little angel in her belly and getting to make something for him. It is a little boy, and see the joy in her eyes when she opens the gift. And I got to not only see her, I got to see my other niece who I think I have the best nieces in the world. My other niece who is in nursing school, not that far away from us, but we, I don't get to see her as much as I'd like to. So I loved today. Today was one of my most favorite days. And so that's why I'm late this evening, doing a little bit of a different time, because I was hanging out with my family. Another thing is this week I've been a little bit off the grid. I lost a friend this week who I've known most of my life, and yeah, that was a little hard to take, so but it's not suffering anymore, so yeah. So these past couple of years have been really strange with things like that happening, so I appreciate all your kind words, and I'm more concerned about his lovely, amazing wife and his mother and father. So thank you guys for your thoughts. And yeah, so I hope you all been doing great, had a great week, got some sewing done because it's Christmas time, and that means we got to get things done. So yeah. We're here today. So let's see. We've got quite a few people joined on, so we can really start talking about what I wanted to talk to you guys today. And one of our wonderful members came up, basically asked me the question, and I'm like, oh, well, yeah, that's a great topic to go over. I have done this in the past, but I'm going to go through it really, really deep this week. And that is using the apps that go along with the Baby Lock Altair, Meridian, and Solaris. And these are special apps. And if you have a like brother machine with an app, this will work for you too. The apps are really cool, and I do suggest using them. They really can help you be successful with your embroidery, and they're used a couple different ways. So when the apps first came out, there were two apps. There was the IQ positioning, and then the other IQ app, and I'm sorry, I'm just not getting it in my head right now. Here, I can get that pulled up. Went along with the Solaris. So the IQ positioning was originally just used for the Altair and the Meridian. But, let me pull this up real quick. IQ monitoring is the one that went along with the Solaris. And what they decided this past year was to include part of the, I guess, positioning part of the IQ positioning app. You can use that in the Solaris now. So it's really cool, and it's not used for positioning, but it is used to send designs over wirelessly to your machines, which to me is super genius, because we are in a technological big giant bubble now, and we use technology for everything. So of course there's going to be an app. Of course there's going to be something fun and new and different to learn. So I just wanted to go over that with you guys, all the way from finding the app. And again, I use Apple products. So if you use an Android, I'm going to assume that it's going to be very similar. And again, I'm assuming, but it'll be really close. So I want to go over that with you today. And also, since we've had so many new members, I'm going to go into how to find the videos again. I'm going to show you one of the easiest ways that I found to find them if I'm on an iPad or an iPhone. And if you're on a computer, it's way easier. But most of us are on our handheld items like a phone or some sort of iPad, or a tablet. So I wanted to go over that again with you guys today. So yeah. If for some reason, let's see, I saw Linda's having some trouble. You can always, if you're having trouble with watching the videos and you're not sure what's going on, even in, a future video, if you can't hear what I'm saying, the best thing to do for you is to log completely out of Facebook and then come back in and join back in on the video. That seems to take care of a lot of problems, so I hope that works for you guys. So yeah, so let's get started talking about the apps today. What are these apps? So this is going to be backwards, but I want to give you a little bit of a visual. And again, it will be backwards. So the IQ positioning app is going to be this black icon. And the IQ monitoring app will be this teal icon. And yes, I know they're backwards. So originally, the black logo, which is the IQ positioning, was just made for the Altair Meridian. And the IQ monitoring app is, and still is, only for the Solaris. And what's the difference? Okay, so if you have an Altair or a Meridian, the IQ positioning app is used in a couple different ways. You can use it for IQ Designer. You can send over your artwork and designs over into IQ Designer using the app, but also for positioning. So with the Solaris machines and the Destiny machines, what you have is you have a camera built directly into your machine. However, in the Altair Meridian, we don't actually have a camera built in. We have this cool scanning, or this cool wireless situation happening. And if you're going to use the IQ positioning app for actual positioning, then you will have the hoops that came with your machine that look like this. So they have the little sensors on the hoops. So that way, the app or whatever you want to call it, you're going to basically take a picture of the hoop, and we'll go through that. We'll take a picture of the hoop, and that'll take it over. Now, why would I need that? Raise your hand if you are a terrible hooper. This girl right here. I am a terrible hooper. I think I've got it all straight and perfect, and then I go stitch it out, and it's just off ever so slightly. I'm not really great at it. However, I can use the positioning app to take a picture of my hoop with my fabric and everything in there and send it over to my machine and position my design. So it's really, really helpful. I think it's super genius. Now, if you have a Solaris, like this one back here, then you can use the built-in camera. So, well, what's the deal with the Solaris and the apps? Well, the IQ monitoring app, that is the Teal app, that's a really cool app. I really like this, and I didn't know I would use it as much as I do. But have you ever been stitching along, and you've got to go and change out the laundry, or maybe you're in the middle of cooking dinner, or, I mean, just going to the little girl's room, whatever. Well, what happens is it's going to tell you a couple of things. And when I pull it up and show you, what it's going to do is it's going to monitor your embroidery. So if it's time to change a color and you've got your phone with you while you're cooking, it's going to say, hey, Anna, it's time to change the color. Or my favorite part is it's going to go, ooh, Anna, you got a thread break. Ooh, you need to get back in there. And so that way I can run back in here and not be, and not take so much time in between. I can go, okay, well, I really need to get this done, so I need to run back in there, fix that thread, and keep going. So I think that's really super cool. I just think that's genius. But with the Solaris 2 upgrade, now I can use a part inside of the IQ positioning, the black app. I can use that with the Solaris, and we'll go over what that is. So I love the apps. I didn't know I would use them as much as I do, but I use them like crazy. And if you have the Altair Meridian, they are imperative to get the most success out of your embroidery experience. So what I'm going to do is I have actually deleted my apps off of my iPad so we can just start completely fresh and show you exactly what happens. Now, of course, you have to have Wi-Fi, so at your home or wherever you're setting this up. And I have to say, and I'm not bragging, but I am lucky enough to have both machines here. So that way I can show you on both machines what it's going to look like. And I think that's super cool. So we'll be kind of working back and forth, and then I'll show you why these apps are good. So this may be a little bit of a long video, but it's really cool. It's really, really fun. And then we'll go over how to find the previous videos. So are you ready? Now I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to, how I'm going to start this today. I guess I could just have everything over here because I don't want it to be backwards for you. So let's just bring it over here. All right, let's play with the apps first. Let's get them downloaded. Okay, so I'm going to turn you around to my apps, and you get to see my sewing room. It's so messy. And I am going to kind of zoom you in on my iPad here. Maybe I should turn it up and down. That would work. That's probably a little bit better. Okay. Here is my iPad. If I can get it nice and straight for you guys. There we go. Okay. So what we're going to notice on your iPad or your tablet, you have some place where you can find apps. So with Apple, it's called the App Store. And I'm sorry, with Android, I really don't know what it's called. But you will have a place to find apps. So I'm going to select that. And then up here, I can just start typing IQ. And I think I did IQ Designer and search. And then I will see there are 2 apps. So if you have the Solaris 2 and the Solaris, then you're going to download both of these apps, the black one and the teal one. Shirley, what am I using to hold my iPad? This is super cool. I got this on the Big A, which I don't like to talk about much, on Amazon. And it's just a little holder. I know, it's really nice. I've had this thing for a couple years, and I can't live without it. Okay, now if you just have an Altair Meridian, you're just going to download the black app right here, the IQ Positioning, and then IQ Monitoring. So I'm going to go ahead and get both of those downloading, and it shouldn't take too long. Okay, one is there. Okay, mine downloaded pretty quickly. I am lucky to have awesome internet at where I live, so mine downloaded pretty quickly, so they're ready to go. Now, when you do that, now I can close the App Store. It's going to place it somewhere on my iPad or tablet. So I'm just going to go find it. Okay, and so they're both right here. And y'all can see I love to play little games. I have all kind of little games here. So I have them right here, and they are both right there. And I'm going to do both of them. I'll just go ahead and start with the IQ Monitoring, and I'm going to tap on it, and it's most likely going to tell me a couple things. It's going to say, hey, Anna, would you like us to send notifications? This may include alerts and all that. And I'm going to say yes. I do want notifications because I want it to tell me, hey, your stitch broke or it's time to change another color. And remember, this one's for the Solaris and Solaris 2. So I'm going to select allow. And then what it's going to do is give me a quick demonstration. So I can just read each one, easily check the progress of my embroidery, next, receive notifications about my embroidery, heck yeah, and view thread colors and other information. All right, I'm going to hit start. Then what it's going to say is, it's going to give me a step-by-step on what to do. It's going to say, step 1, turn on the machine, press wireless LAN key on the home screen. Okay, this is where I'm going to drag you back over here. So I'm going to quickly drag you back to your machine. Renee, there is not one for the Destiny. Okay, so I'm going to quickly take you back over to my machine right here. And what it told me to do, it said, press the wireless LAN key. So this is it right up here in the corner, your wireless LAN key. And then it's going to say, I'll push next. I guess I could bring this over here with us. That would be easier, wouldn't it? Okay, then it's going to say, set wireless LAN to on. So mine are right up here. Let me get a better view for you guys here. I'm going to make sure that where right here where it says wireless LAN enable is on. And how I know it's on is because it's highlighted blue. Yours may, if you're new to this or if you've never done this, it may be in the off position, but make sure you select on. Okay? And then it's going to say press the wireless LAN setup wizard. So I'm reading that on my iPad right there. It's going to give me a step-by-step, and that's what I'm going to do, and that's right here. There we go, and it's searching, okay, and it's going to ask me, oh goodness, is it going to ask me my Wi-Fi? I bet you it is. And I will have to go find that because I totally forgot about that. Okay, so I am going to select my Wi-Fi. And then let's see, what will I do? So that one's selected. And then I'm going to go next. Here. Okay, so I've got that selected. There is a save. Mine says it's already saved, so I'm going, because I did take this off and put it back on, so I'm just going to connect it. And it may at that point ask you for your password for your internet. So have that handy. And it skipped over it for me. I know my iPad's off to the side. So it may ask me for that. So what it's going to say after that, there's my iPad. It's going to say, check if your smart device and your machine are connected to the same network. And I'll say, okay, let's see. Confirm that the machine name in the wireless settings of your machine. After connection is closed, the machine name will be displayed on the next page. Now, what does that mean? Okay, so I am going to go, once it's connected, I'm going to press OK. And you can go in on this page and change the name of your machine. You will have a factory default name right here. And if you want to change it, like I call this one Sunshine, you can go change name and then type in a new name or type in a name. So I'm going to see that I am going to be looking for Sunshine. Well, how do I find that on my iPad? Well, let me show you. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to close this. And then what I'm going to do, it's going to say, hey, Anna, IQ Intuition Monitoring would like to find and connect to your devices. So it's going to say, hey, can we connect with each other? And I'm going to say, yep, okay. And then I'm going to wait right here. Let's see. There we go. And I push this little circle button right up here, and it's going to say, hey, you told me from your machine that your machine's name is Sunshine. So I'm going to tap on that, and now I'm connected. So it's pretty easy. I am super connected right now, and if I went a little fast, make sure just to go back and rewatch. Okay, so how does this work? Well, let's see how it's going to work. I have got some fabric hooped up and some thread ready to go, and I'm just going to do something small and quick. I'll just do like 2 letters, and I'll do them in different colors so you can see what happens. And this is what your screen will look like when you've got everything connected. You're going to see your home network or the Wi-Fi network, and everything is pretty much good to go. So I'm going to say okay, and let's go just get 2 letters. I'll do A and B. Set, but I'm going to change one of these to a different color. So we'll, just so you can see what happens. So you can barely see, but I've got it in pink, and I'm going to go to embroidery. Okay. I'm then going to start. Now, I want to show you something. This is what's so cool. Okay, I just brought those in. I've got my app open. What's on my app? The exact same thing that I just put on my screen here. So I'm going to start embroidering. Just going to drop my foot and start. And it's going to start on the A. So I want to show you 2 things that could happen. All right, can you see something that just popped up right up here? What I did is I cut the thread at the top so we can do a simulation of a broken thread. So it stopped and it said, "Hey, Anna, your thread just broke." And I'm going to go, "Oh, okay. Well, then I'll just come back in and rethread really quickly." So you can just watch me do that. At this point, what I would do, and that's my iPad. Okay, so I've rethreaded it, and it says, "Hey, you're ready now." But if I ever break a thread, guys, what I do is I always come down here to the plus minus, and I go back 20 stitches by hitting -10 twice. Why do I do that? I do that because I want to make sure that I cover any of the stitches that were loose or anything like that. So we're going to let that A stitch out and see what happens from there. You can see up here it's doing embroidery. You can watch down here at the bottom to see it making its way. So it's saying do 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 do. There's one of two colors. It's telling me how many stitches there are, and we're on the first color. So it finished. So now what I can do is come back in, and it's going to say, if I'm in the kitchen or something, what it'll let me know is, "Hey," and it will pop up on your phone or your iPad. It'll say, "Hey, it's time for a thread change." How cool is that? So I am going to just change the color real quick. Where'd I put my scissors? Right here. I'll just put a black in for the B. Super quickly, and I know you can't see me doing that. Okay, so now I can watch everything from my iPad. Oh, something happened. It says broken thread, but when I come here to my machine, it says, "Anna, your bobbin thread is almost empty." So it's going to give me at least something to say, "Hey, if I'm sewing in here, if I'm embroidering in here and I'm cooking dinner out there or watching a movie," it's going to let me know something's wrong. So it actually says broken thread, but when I come in here, it's going to tell me my bobbin thread is almost empty. Now, if you're not sure the correct way to change your bobbin, most of us would just go from right here and just take off the hoop and lift everything. Go ahead and press this button. What it does is it goes ahead and it trims your thread and it moves it out of the way so you can grab this safely and change your bobbin thread. And let me get to those two questions that just popped up. So, Nancy, no, this is only for the Solaris. Only for the Solaris. The IQ positioning is the one for Altair. Cindy, yes, you are correct. Melody, good question. What happens when you take your machine to class? Do you need to be on their Wi-Fi? Can you use your phone as a hotspot? Good question. I don't know about using it for a hotspot. I have not tried that, but I can try that another time for you guys. But yes. Yes, when you go to class, you want to be on their Wi-Fi. And when my ladies come to class, their machines, I've got theirs set up to our Wi-Fi. So when they come in, it'll just kind of da-da-da. Yeah. D, absolutely. I have both apps on my iPad and my iPhone. You can put it on as many as you want. So let me grab some bobbin thread. Hopefully I've got something wound. Have I used all my bobbin threads? Well, I guess I have. Well, no, here's some. So I'm going to take and put my bobbin thread right back on. I tried to wind like 8 of them at a time, and I'm on the last one. Goodness, it's time to wind some bobbin thread. Okay, so after I've put that back on with the bobbin, it's going to give me another screen, and it says, okay, remove everything, and when you're done, basically push OK, and it's going to move it back to where it needs to be. So, okay, I'm just going to leave that right here. What about the PC? I think it only works on, like, your smart, I guess smart devices is the correct word. So, like, phone and tablet. Okay, so I'm just going to hit start and let it finish out that B so we can see what happens on our screen here. Now again, this is for the Solaris. I'm going to put that right there, my iPad right there, so you can see exactly what happens when it's done. She's a little bouncy. So my B is almost done. And let's see what happens. So on my screen, it's going to let me know here that I'm finished embroidering. So if I'm watching a movie or something, I can come in here and finish up what I'm doing. So that's a really cool app, and that is the Teal app. So if we're looking on my screen here, you can see the iCue Teal app. So I think that's really, really cool app because, again, I didn't think I would use it as much as I have used it, especially because I work until 6 at night, and then when I get home, guys, I come straight to my sewing room, and I've got something on the machine, and then I still have to cook dinner. So when I go in there to cook dinner, then I know what's happening, and I don't have to, come back to a surprise. I can actually go, okay, my thread broke, or because that's inevitable. When you leave your machine, we all know that when we leave our machine, something's going to happen. When you're sitting next to it, it's fine. But when you leave your machine, you're going to run out of the bobbin. You're going to something. Or when it's time to change to the next color. I think that's genius. I am just like blown away by that. So again, that app is for the Solaris and Solaris 2. But let's get into the iCue positioning app, because this one is really cool. Love this one. So I'm going to bring y'all back over here. So I'm sorry I'm moving you around so much tonight. It's just kind of easier this way. I really need to get my chair out the way because I am fighting with it. So, or a bobbin breaking. Exactly, Bonnie. Exactly. That's one of the most annoying things about embroidering is when your thread breaks or your bobbin breaks. You're like, ugh, but it happens. So switch you around here. Let's get you back into view. And now let's talk about the iCue positioning app. Now, if you have not upgraded to Solaris 2, you won't be able to use this. However, you can use it if you have an Altera Meridian, guys. You can use this. So this is really great. Okay, so iCue positioning app basically takes place of the of the camera that is built into the Destiny or into the Solaris. But you can only use certain aspects of it in the Altera Meridian. Or actually, you can use everything on it in the Altera Meridian. And you can only use one thing on it for the Solaris 2. So let's tap that little guy right there. And we're going to go through the same thing. So I'm going to make sure, let me get everything going here. Okay. So it's going to tell me everything. What can I do with this? Well, you can take a photo for easy positioning. I can take a photo for design creation. And I can select an image for design creation and editing. So, okay. And I'm going to walk through those same steps that we did a moment ago. So make sure I go and press the wireless LAN key. So I'm going to tap that key up here and we'll just bring you over. Sorry if that made you dizzy, because that probably made me a little dizzy. I think, woo, I did get a little dizzy. Okay. So here we go. So the wireless LAN key, let's get you right to the side there, is right up here in the corner. And you know your wireless is connected, and I should have mentioned this earlier. You know your wireless is connected if that key is highlighted blue. So I'm going to tap on that, and then I'm going to make sure that this is in the on position. I'm going to go to wireless LAN wizard, and I'm going to select my wireless stuff. Here we go, whatever the blah is. And what it'll do, I'll push OK right now because mine's already connected. However, it may ask you to put in your internet code that you have. So I'm then, after that's done, I'm going to say OK. And then I have a name for this one. Meridian's name is Mabel. And again, you can change that if you want. So I made sure that it's connected. So now what I'm going to do is take a look at my iPad. Here we go. And I'm just going to make sure I follow all these steps here. And it's just making sure that your machine's connected, and then I hit close. And then it's going to say, would you like to find and connect devices to your local network? Yes, I do. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to select this little bitty round circle arrow thing here, and it's going to find Mabel. But since I have two machines, it will find both of them, and that's good for me. So Mabel and Sunshine are on there, so I have to tell it which one. And if you have two machines, this is what you need to do. You have to tell it which machine you're going to use this with, and yes, you have to do that if you switch over to the other machine, and we'll go through that in a second. So I'm going to select Mabel, and there we go. Now, this is important for our Meridian and Altair owners. When you got your machine, you got one of these little guys here, okay? And what it wants me to do, this is a calibration sheet, and this is super duper important. Don't skip it. Do it. And it's going to tell me what to do. It says perform lens calibration of your smart device to improve position. I can't talk today, obviously. To improve positioning accuracy. The lens calibration sheet included with the machine, this guy right here, will need to be photographed. So what I'm going to do is I will take this, and how about I just drop it on the floor? That might be easier for you guys to see. And you're going to put it on a flat surface. Could be the floor, could be, a table. Let's loosen this up. I got this really tight. And I'm just going to drop her on the floor. And then what I'm going to do with this guy is I'm going to select begin calibration, and it's going to tell me, it says, oh goodness, you can't see that, but what it says is, would you like to access the camera? Yes, 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 say okay. And now what it's going to have me do, and you can probably see some little dots there, I am going to align these dots over this paper, and do you see these little guys right here? I'm going to try to capture those dots. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this really well when I'm doing this, but you'll get the idea. So it's going to tell me, photo the sheet from directly above. I'm directly above it. Hold in such a way that the square marks are inside with these circles. So I'm going to select next, and my camera comes on, and I may have to get really close and I didn't do such good, but now it says use the photo sheet at an angle. So I'm going to kind of angle it up when I do it. So I'm going to kind of come, and I think I'm off camera now, but, oops. So there we go. Okay, so I took the picture and accidentally went ahead and hit OK for you. So it did its calibration, and now I'm done with this. So I'm going to put it away. Don't throw it away, just in case something happens. Okay, so now let's talk about these fun little keys that are on here. So let's go back to our iPad. That was not the greatest demonstration of that, but I think it's so, it helps you, it'll walk you through everything to do, that you'll be able to do it. Definitely. I have faith. So let's zoom in a little bit. Now I have 3 different icons on my IQ positioning app. Remember, this is the black app. This is for the Altair Meridian. So, what is on there? Okay, there's a section for embroidery, and then there's a section for IQ Designer. Now, if I want to, let me get something hooped for you guys. I have something right here that I'm just going to throw into a hoop, and I'm going to hoop it crooked. Probably can't hear me, but I'm going to hoop it crooked. On purpose. Okay, I want to do something. I want to hoop something, or I want to embroider something, but I'm a terrible hooper. So I go and I hoop in my special hoop that has the little icons on it, the little sensors on it. And you can see my line is way off. Now, if I want to make sure that my embroidery is perfectly straight, what I can do is use this guy right here. And what it's going to tell me is to take this device, and I'm going to lay this on a flat surface, and I'm going to take a picture with this, and it's going to shoot it over to the embroidery machine. However, the very first thing I should do on my embroidery machine, guys, and this is very important, and I always forget to do this, is pull up an embroidery design. So, Emily, you don't need it if you have a Solaris, okay? It is not, that is only for the Altair Meridian. So I'm going to come in here and pick up a small little design. But that's actually not a great one. Let's do a letter of some sort. We need something that's kind of straight up and down so I can really show you what's going to happen. I'm going to change the size here. I want it to fit in my 4x4 hoop. There we go. Okay, so I've got a design that does not need to be crooked. And I've got my hoop all kind of crooked, okay? So I'm going to place this on a flat surface over here. I am going to move you guys again because this is the best way to show you. I'm going to bring you up really high. And over to my flat surface so you can watch what I'm about to do. Okay. Let's get you pulled up. Okay, so now if you can barely see what it says right here, but it's going to say hold your smart device parallel to the embroidery frame. And I'm going to say okay. Now when I tap that, can you see this almost looks like a little video? I'm moving around. What I'm going to do is if I start holding it up over my design. Oops, that was terrible. And maybe I can do this by holding it this way. Will it do it? Can you see the little hoop popping on the screen? Barely, huh? You can, let's see. I'm trying to hold it to where you guys can see it, but I'm actually doing a terrible, terrible job at this. You may be able to see a little hoop showing up on the screen here if I move it along. It's trying to find these guys right here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to align up my, oops. And it's going to tell me to hold it for 3 seconds. And then it's going to take a picture. So see, it took a picture of my hoop. And there's my ugly, ugly placement line. So I am going to hit send to the machine. And it says, okay, Anna, I sent it over to the embroidery machine. Okay, well, let's go check that out. So let's see if it really did. Bring you back over and down a little bit. I really need to get a better way of doing this, but details, right? All right, so I'm going to move the camera ever so slowly, or not. I try not to do it bumpily, but hey, things happen. Okay, now I'm back over here to my machine. It said, hey, send to the machine, and then when I'm at the machine, look what pops up. The image was sent from the mobile app. Hot dog. Update. Yep, I want to make sure it gets on there. But then it's going to fuss at me. It's going to say, can you put that frame on? And I'll say, okay, fine, I'll put the frame on that I'm using. Okay, and I'm going to say okay. And then you can see what happened. Can you see that my background image is now on there? And now what I can do is I can come in there and go to my edit area and rotate it or play with it until I think it's going to be nice and straight. So when I embroider it out and bring it out of the hoop, it's going to be straight. Do I have to calibrate each hoop? Nope. You do it once and you're done, Judy. Great question. No. Oh my gosh. Nightmare. That would be not fun. So yes, great question. Nope. You just do it once. So I just turned him a little bit, and if I were to stitch him out, of course I would take more time. He would be straight. But there's another aspect to that, and I actually went over this last week. We have something that comes along with our machine that are called positioning stickers. And so if you didn't see last week's episode, this is a positioning sticker. So this can really help me as well. And so I'm going to do the same thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this positioning sticker and I am going to align it up with these lines because I have these crosshairs on here. So I'm going to take and align the crosshairs with my crooked crosshairs. And then what I can do is take a picture again, but I'm going to push one extra button. Yeah, they really are. I love the positioning stickers. So let's go back. Let's say okay. So, thank you guys. So if I go to the embroidery for an easy positioning, what I'm going to do is down here at the bottom, can you see where it says easy and advanced? If you're going to use the stickers, you want to use the advanced. So it's going to tell me, put your sticker on, and I'm going to go, okay. And then what I can do is take my hoop, and I'm just going to throw it on the floor real quick, guys, and take a picture and show you. Okay. And look, there it is right there. So what I'm going to do next is hit send to the machine. Brenda, you should have gotten some in your, they come with the Altair Meridian and the Solaris and the Destiny, so you should have gotten some. Okay, so it says, hey, Anna, you took another picture. And I'm going to say, okay. And what it's going to say, oh, okay, it's fussing at me, guys. Let's get the hoop back on. And what's going to happen first? Let's show you what's going to happen first. I'm going to bring you here, and you should be able to see. I'm going to push OK, and then OK again. You should be able to see a little red light right there. So let's zoom in a little bit. And what it wants me to do on the screen, and I'm going to quickly flash you the screen, is it wants me to take that red light and see the center of the big circle. It wants me to center that perfectly in the big circle. So let's do that. There's a little black dot that it wants me to center that red dot directly over. So I'm just going to play with the arrows that you just saw on the screen and move it down and move it over. Looks good to me. I'll push OK. And then what it'll do is now it has taken the design and shifted it so it'll be perfectly straight when you stitch it out. It is so cool. So, but the number one thing that you want to do, because it's not going to tell you, and ask me how I know, when you're ready, before you're ready to stitch out, let's do this. Remember to always remove your sticker. And again, ask me how I know to do that. I've stitched through a few of these little guys. But they come on sheets, and again, you will have them, I promise, unless you bought your machine used, that look like this. So it's just kind of a big old sheet, and you may have gotten a couple sheets. All right, so I'm going to take us out of there. Is this for Solaris too? Yeah, girl, you should have some. Go D, my last, video last week, we did this, and I showed how to do it on the Solaris too, as well. So, yep, it's really cool. It's done differently. Now, mind you, remember, some things are done differently, so that's why I like to do the videos on both machines, to show you exactly how things work. Okay, so let's go back to our app. Okay, so we worked with embroidery positioning, which means putting the design where you want. Now, inside of the IQ positioning app, you have a couple other things here. Okay. All right, so now we can work with IQ Designer, and it's going to say two things. Photo frame for creating a design, and then it's also going to say, oops, oh, continue, oh, yeah, okay. If you push one of those buttons, it's going to ask you if you can, it's going to ask you to allow access to all your photos. So yes, allow access. Nobody's going to come in there and get you, I promise. They're not getting your information. This is a really safe app. So make sure you go allow access, or else you won't be able to use it. So, okay. So the first one, I can take a picture of whatever's in the frame and turn it into embroidery or design something around it. Or I can select an image for creating a design. That one's really super cool. But let's start with the first one. What I'm going to do is I am going to hoop a piece of fabric that has a pretty design on it. if I can find where I put it. Okay, here we go. I got it. So I'm going to hoop a piece of pretty green fabric. Here we go. I've got it right here. And I'm actually just going to go ahead and, oh, wait, I need to take a picture of it using my phone. So I'm going to select the photo frame for creating design, and it's going to tell me to do the same thing that we did with the embroidery part. I'm going to hold my device up above the frame that has the special little sensors on it and take a picture. So I'm just going to throw mine on the floor again and take a picture. Okay, so it took a picture of my fabric. Now, why would I want to do this? There's a bunch of different features or different things you're going to do. You can do with this. You can actually go in and trace all those little pretty little snowflake designs and turn those into embroidery. Or we can do something else that I like to do when I'm quilting. So I can use this for echo quilting, which is super cool. So I'm going to select send to the machine, and then it's going to tell me something. Hey, I know you may not be able to see that really well, but it says, hey, Anna, you're going to find this right here inside of IQ Designer. If you're new to your machine, IQ Designer is basically what I call the digitizing part of our machine. It is so amazing. There's so much you can do with it. Okay, so let's take a look and let's go find that picture. So I'm going to go to IQ Designer. And the first thing that I want to do is, I believe, if I get it right, I may get this wrong, guys. I haven't done this in a long time. So let me go see if I can find it. And I'll tell you if it's right or wrong. Aha, okay. So what I want to do, let's say that I want to take, and I want to quilt, I want to echo a quilt around these little snowflakes. If you're not sure what echo quilting is, it's basically leaving the design unquilted, but everything else around it is quilted. You want to see how I do that? It's really cool. Now remember, you can do many millions of things with this, but this is what I'm going to show you. Oops, we went blurry there for a second. So how I'm going to go find that is I'm going to go to this little leaf right up here at the top. I'm going to tap that, and then I'm going to use the Wi-Fi symbol. And why am I using that? Because I sent it wirelessly over. The last thing that you sent over is always going to be up at the top here. And there it is right there, easy mode. Okay, so I'm going to select return. Oh, I didn't tap it, did I? There we go. I didn't hit set, excuse me. Set. There we go. Now I can see it on the screen. And remember, this is a 4x4 hoop. And so that means it's really small. But I can also use these buttons right down here to darken it up. I can also make it, zoom in a little bit. So let me show you what I was talking about echo quilting. And this is just one of the many things you can do. So let's say I wanted to quilt this quilt block, but I wanted my snowflakes, the big snowflakes, to not have any quilting inside of them, just around them. So you have some editing functions. You have a fill function, and I have many videos on this. So I'm just going to kind of jump right into that fill function and do a stipple. And I'll select a color. And I'm going to put the stipple directly on, oops, cancel. Wait, let's go back. I'm going to put the stipple directly on top of this. But what I need to do first is I need to go down here and tell it I'm using a 4x4 hoop. That way, I don't do what I just did. So the 4x4 hoop is now around my picture. Okay, oops, I moved it. Well, we'll just fake it. And I'm going to pop that in here. Now you can see that something happened. I probably should change the color. Let's go back and change the color so you can really see it. Let's do a dark pink. There we go. So you can see that stipple. But that stipple would go over everything, right? But I just want it to go on the outs. I want it to go over everything except for the big ones. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. There we go. So I've got a big one right here, and I can take my eraser and I can come in and erase all the stitches that I don't want to stitch out. So you can really make this like echo quilting. And this is going to be an ugly rendition, but at least you'll get the idea. And again, this is one of millions of things you can do. If you're a quilter, I've pretty much just started using this as quilting. I love embroidered quilting. I think it's so much fun, and it makes me look like I am an amazing quilter, excuse me. All right, so quickly go up here, and I'll just show you what it looks like. So I'm basically echo quilting, and what I'm doing is removing any stitches that I don't want. Okay, let's say I was happy with that. I'm going to hit next and preview and okay. So what happens is, and you can change the size of the stipple and everything. You guys, it does not have to be big like this one. So let's zoom in. Let's take a look at what I just did. So now, and I think I'm going to zoom in with you guys a little bit too. Let's get you zoomed in. So now you can see that my stippling is going to go around these certain designs that I told it not to go around. I may have shifted something when I was moving things, but you can get the idea. So it's pretty cool. So, like I said, one of a million things you can do. Now, one of my most favorite things that you can do is, let me bring my iPad back up. I need someone to give me something that is related to Christmas. Let's see, a shape that reminds you of Christmas. So give me a shape from Christmas. Snowman, tree, gingerbread. Ooh, oh, Cindy, I have not done a gingerbread yet, so we're going with gingerbread. Great bells. Y'all got some good ones. And some of y'all who have been with me for a while, you know what I'm about to do. And so we have fun with this. Okay, this is one of my favorite things to do. But I think the gingerbread is adorable. Okay, so I'm going to go to Google. This is my Safari. But I'm going to type in Google gingerbread. And then what I'm going to type after that is clip art. And sometimes it'll pop up and say black and white, and that's what I want. I want black and white. So I'm going to go to my images here, and we're going to pick one. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. I can't even with these. There's so many, guys. Let's see. I want a pretty clean one. It would be best. These are all really good, actually. I could use really almost any of these. But if you're doing like a mandala, and you'll see why when I show you what's going to happen, you want to make sure the mandala is not too overly complicated. Gosh, they're all so cute. Okay, so let's just go back up here and pick one. I really like him. So I'm going to just tap on him. And then however on your device you save a picture off the internet, with Apple we can touch it and it'll say, ooh, this one won't let me save as a picture, so I may have to find a different one. No worries. Let's go to her and see. Add to photos. So I can go add to photos and watch what happens. This is so cool. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my IQ positioning app, and I'm just going to get out of that. We're not going to worry about what I just did. Last week, I used the positioning app to practice. When I go to the machine today, the hoop fabric is still showing in the background. Okay, Jean, which machine do you have? Okay, so ready? We used this little guy right here a moment ago. We're going to use this one right here. Select an image for creating designs. I saved an image to my iPad in my photos. So I'm going to select this one right here. And there's my little gingerbread girl. So there she is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what it says down here. Send to the machine. I'm going to send her to the machine. Gosh, this is so cute. I hope it works out. This is so cute. Because every now and then you'll have one that may not work out. And that's okay. You just go find another one. So what it's going to say, Estelle, Stellar. Okay, yeah, Jean, give me just a minute and I'll show you that, okay? I'll show you. Yeah, and that's a great question. So, okay. So, sent to IQ Designer, I'm going to say okay. And then when I come to IQ Designer, I'm going to go back up to that little leaf right here and to my Wi-Fi. And it's always going to be the first one on the list. The last thing you took a picture of is going to be the first one on the list. So I'll select that and I'll hit set. So it'll show up on my background. Now I can't do anything with that, right? Okay. I could go in at this point, take her. This is your drawing box, or what we call our line properties. Go in and draw all the way around her and draw everything out. Now, if you're like me, you're not a great drawer. If you are not like me, you're an awesome drawer. You may want to do that. I don't. So I'm going to back that off. And instead of going to that little leaf, I'm going to go to line design and watch what happens. So what it's going to say is, okay, you want this, right? And I'm going to say, yep, I want that. So I'm going to push OK. And what it does is it's going to turn these outlines from the picture that I sent over into lines that I can turn into embroidery. What? That is amazing. So let's hit set and see what happens. Now I lost her eyeballs, but I don't care. I can fix that. And let me show you. I've got it turned to where the background image is really dark. I'm going to turn that down. So now we can see our little girl here. And somehow we lost some eyeballs, but that's okay. I can fix that. Now, the first thing I want to do with this is I'm going to make sure that her outlines are going to stitch out into a just a running stitch. So I'm going to go, you have two property boxes here. You have one up here, that's your line properties, and one down here. This is your fill properties. So first, I'm going to go to my line properties, and I'm going to select running stitch. And I'm just going to select a color, guys. I know I would probably stitch this part out in black, but I want you to be able to see what happens. So I'm going to select a green and OK. I'm then going to select this bucket right here. And I'm going to tap on one of the lines. And did you see everything on the outside of her turn green? That means I just turned my that line into a stitch line. I'm going to do that for the same on her mouth and her buttons. But there's a couple little things that I see that I don't want there, so I can come in with my eraser and erase any little dots or anything, and I think I can get in here and erase the little dots in there. Oops, Let's go back. I knew I did something funky. There we go. Oh, did it again. That's because I'm using this guy here. Oh, I don't want that. I don't want it to close. Okay, so that means I'm going to come in really close. There we go. And there we go. I don't want that because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So, oops. Let's get her up here. Okay, this is so fun. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to give her some eyeballs. So I'm actually going to come to my shapes. And hopefully I can find something that's small enough. So let's go to our circle here and let's just test it out. So I selected the circle and I'm going to select OK. And you see my circle is huge. So let's go to size and let's shrink it all the way down. See if I can get a little bit. So it's not going to get much smaller. So they might be too big. I mean, those are some big eyes. So let's get rid of that. I think what I'll do is just use the drawing area. I'll turn on a satin stitch right here. I'm going to select black. And I would want to really take my time with this, but since we're here together, I'm just going to take and draw in some eyeball. Oh gosh, guys, I am terrible at this. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give her closed eyes. So I can just go like this. Oh my goodness. You know what I'm going to get? My mouse. And if you didn't know, you can use a mouse. It has to be a wired mouse for your designs. You can totally do it. There we go. So I'm going to give her like, like that's a cyclops eye. There we go. All right, let's see if I can get another one. Okay, she has like the closed eyes. Oh gosh, you guys. I hope you are laughing, getting a good laugh out of this tonight. Okay, but I need to tell her eyes what to be, so... Oh, I already did. Okay, good. Okay, so now what I can do is I can do a couple things from here. I could leave her as an outline, because if I hit next and preview and okay, I just turn this all into embroidery stitches. So now she would stitch out just like that. But I'm going to return because I'm going to fill her in. You ready for the fills? I love fills. So let's make her a little bigger. And let's do her little ribbons and her hair bow and her circles all in a satin stitch. Now you have this area right here, which is your fill area. And see this little icon right here? Dolly, girl, tell me about it. It's terrible. I'm terrible at this stuff, but I'm really good at faking it, okay? Okay, so this is where you find your fun fills. But this very first one is a satin stitch. So I'm going to select, I don't like red, guys, so I'm going to select a pink color. I'm really weird about that. I'm going to tap on my bucket right here, and I'm going to tap where I want that, oops, went a little too far over there. Tap where I want that color to go. So these are going to be satin stitches. There we go. And I think what I'm going to do, since everything is green and you really can't see what's happening, I'm going to change this line to black, back to black, so you can really see what's going to happen. There we go. That's so much better. So much better. Okay. Now what I want to do is fill her body, but I want her to have a fun fill. And if you're new with me or new to your machine, what I call a fun fill is something like this. So look at this letter B. You see the little circles and the letter E? I have some X's. You can do that with your machine. So let's do that. We're going to come back down here to your 4 icons that are your fill properties, and I'm going to select this little box. And I'm going to go to, I could either do stipple or I'm going to go to my fun fills. So I just tap this guy and then hit select. And I have all these fills to choose from. And since she's a little gingerbread, I think the circles would be cute. So I'm going to select the circles, select OK. And I think I'm just going to kind of select like a maybe brown, just so we can get the idea of a gingerbread, and say OK. I'm going to select this bucket and tap inside of her and all these other areas that aren't filled in. Oops. If I make a mistake, I can always use my back button. No worries. Now, she doesn't look like Munch now, right? So let's hit next. And I know that, let's get her all the way out. I know that these are going to probably be way too big for her body. I want to make those much smaller. And to get to those, I'm just going to select the select button until it comes to these round circles. And you can see the round circles right there. Now, I actually have 5 spots of round circles or fill. I have this, the outsides of her hands, and the outsides of her feet. So what I can do is connect all the same objects, and I'm going to take that down to 50%, and I know I'm moving fast. However, I'm just pretty much, I've done tons of videos on this. So I'm going to select preview and OK, and let's see what she's going to look like. Oh my gosh, she would be really cute. So I'm just going to hit set and just say I'm happy with that. Oops. Now, if you're on an Altair Meridian or the Luminaire, I believe, the Brother-like ones, to turn off your background image from previous before, you've got this icon right up here and you just tap it. Now let's go in deeper. Look how cute she would be. I mean, for me, just making this really quickly, I think she would be really cute as a little ornament or something like that. Now, of course, you could go in and turn her all satin stitching, but it's really up to you. So super cute. And I did that all by downloading an image from Google or from the internet and taking her in and turning her into embroidery. So that's really super cool about that. But one more thing and then we're done with this topic. Let's bring you over to, you better save her. You're right, thank you. Brenda knows me so well. Let's save her into memory. Because I do want to stitch her out. I think she's really cute. I'll probably change up the colors some. Okay, so now with the Solaris 2 upgrade, I'm going to bring you over here. I can do the exact same thing, but I can only use this part right here. I can only use that same button that we just used to create designs on the IQ Designer on the Solaris 2. So I would do the same exact steps. So if you have 2 machines, I'm not sure if some of you may have a couple machines. If you need to add a machine on, not add a machine on, but pull, let's say I was working on the Meridian, but now I'm ready to work on the Solaris. So what do I do in that instance? Can you make her eyes? Yes, you can, Lynn. You could go back to the, if I had saved it in the beginning, which I tell y'all to do all the time, but I never do, you can change that to a satin stitch, and that would look so much better. So if I were working on my Meridian, but now I'm working on the Solaris, and if you have the 2 machines, this is how you change over, okay? You're going to use these little settings, and then I'm going to tap on Machine Selection, and it's going to look for all the machines. So I want to work on Sunshine right now. And now anything I do will be done on Sunshine. So let's do that. Let's kind of just do the same thing. Let's go select image for creating, and it's going to take me to my images. But we're going to go back to one of the ones we worked on before, guys. Let's see. Remember this pumpkin? Oh, this pumpkin was awesome. Did I draw the lines on the fabric? Polly, can you elaborate on that? Because I don't think I understand the question. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't think I understand the question. Okay, so this guy I posted up to the group not too long ago in November. Now let's say I wanted to turn this all into just a beautiful outline stitch. All I'm going to do is hit send to the machine. And remember, we're working on the Solaris now, and it's going to tell me sent to IQ Designer. So let's go find that inside of the Solaris. And okay, let's get back to, really quickly, I need to address this question that's way back up here for Jean. Jean, if you're still on, if you, let's say I still had my background image showing up here. And that is if I've scanned it in or taken a picture of it or whatever. What you're going to do is you're going to come up here to your settings, little piece of paper, and then you'll scroll over until you find, oh, I always can't find it, background image display. And then all I would have to do is hit the word delete and OK. And then select OK, and that image will be gone. Okay, when you were setting up the C and the hoop, oh yeah, Polly, absolutely. Yes, yeah, I draw my lines on. I always like to, I don't know where I put that piece of fabric. It's here somewhere. But yeah, I am a marker. I definitely do mark my fabric, and depends on what fabric I'm using, what type of marker I use. That was a Frixon pen for white cotton threads, or excuse me, white cotton. I like, for lighter fabrics, I'll use the Frixon pens. Those are the ones that erase away with heat. For darker fabrics, I like chalk, and I also do like the blue water-soluble pens for lighter. I'm trying to show it to you. Where'd it go? There we go. The blue water-solubles for lighter fabrics as well. Okay, so let's go back over here and just quickly show you how to pull up that pumpkin design that I sent over to IQ Designer just by using the app. So here I'll go to IQ Designer, and then I am going to go to this little leaf right here. If I wanted that to automatically be a line design, or just the image showing up in the background, I can select whatever I want, but I'm going to select line design. I'm going to select my Wi-Fi button, and it'll always be the first one on the top here. And there's my pumpkin. So I'm going to hit set. And the cool thing about the Solaris is, at this point, and what normally happens when you bring a design into IQ Designer on all the machines, on the Destiny, the Altair Meridian, or here, it's going to bring it in as a satin stitch. So I can do, from this screen on this Solaris, I can tap this and go ahead and tell it to be a different type of stitch, which is really nice. That's a newer feature. So I'm going to put it as a triple stitch and select OK. And I'm just going to say, let's say we were happy with that. And now I could take this, let's turn down the background. I could do some fill work in there. I can put some fills in, or I could just stitch this out as is and let it just be like a red work with black thread. And so there it is. If I wanted to embroider that out now, let's zoom in just a little bit so you can really see it. If I wanted to embroider that design out, and this was just a clip art. that I found on Google. It's actually really pretty. You can go back through the photos section and find it. I'm pretty sure this is the one I uploaded. Thought it was really gorgeous. So, and there's so many things you can do. Now, that is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to turn you around and then turn you to myself. So, my hair gets bigger as the video goes on, obviously. Yeah, there's so much you can do. I'm going to bring my chair over here because it's easier when I sit. And I would show you where that, I showed y'all a second ago, the B and the E, but I can't, it's a gift. But I'll show it to you when I'm done. It's going to be so pretty, what I'm making with that. Okay. And I know that it's for one of my nieces, and I know every now and then she checks out my videos. Just every now and then, so I don't want to show it to you until I give it to her for Christmas. Okay. So, let's talk about how to find my videos. If you're new to the group, thank you so much for joining. I didn't say that in the beginning. I usually do. So thank you so much for joining. Really love having you guys here. I think that I have the best group of people because everybody's so nice and kind to each other. And that's the way we want it to be. We are here to learn from each other. There's no wrong, no right in sewing to me because I'm kind of a good enough sewer. So, so let's talk about how to find the videos. And I'm going to pull up my little guy here. Okay, so let's go to Facebook. And this is what I found was the easiest way to do it. Now, if you're on a computer, what you're going to do is you're going to look up at the top on our group and it's going to say media. You're going to go under media and you'll find all the videos. And it's way easier than it is on our tablets. On our tablets, we really have to dig around for them. So I'm going to show you the easiest way to find them. So I think I'm just going to take you guys back over here. Just seems like a good height. Thanks, Patty. Okay. As you can see, I had to take my sweater off. I got hot. I get hot easy. Okay, here we go. Maybe I'll do it this way because I can zoom in really nice to that. All right, here's my regular Facebook. And what I'm going to do is go to, and you get to see my friends talking, chat, chat, chat. I'm going to go to my groups. I'm going to find Forever BB Louise, which you're on right now. And what you're going to see is something, I'm assuming, since I own the group, I'm not sure if your page looks very similar to mine or not, but it should look similar to this. And the first thing I want you to notice is under the files section, I need to update this. However, you have a video list from Forever BB Louise. And so if you tap on that, you can see the file and it's going to tell you what number. And I numbered these, and this is just me messing up with typing. It doesn't mean anything special. I numbered them so they would be easy to find, but I have a trick. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to say, hey, you know what? I really want to learn how to quilt Dream Big panels. So that is number 5. So what I'm going to do after viewing that is I am going to go to right up here in your search area. You would think you could go to the photos, but let me show you what happens with photos. If I go to photos, anytime you want to watch a video, you can go dig through the photos and there will be a little play button right here. But, you know, you have to go through every single photo that we've ever put onto the group. So the easiest way for me to do it is, I said I wanted to look at video number 5. So if you come up to the search tab right up here, oops, let's turn that off. The search tab right up here, you're going to tap in there. And what you're going to do is you're going to do 5 period, space bar. Okay, then you're going to hit search and watch what happens. So right there, number 5, using IQ Designer to make keychains I picked the wrong one, but using IQ Designer to make keychains and ornaments. And then I can just click on it, and there's my video right there, and I can start watching. So let's do that again. Let's go to Files, Video List, View File, and making applique with IQ Designer. Or let's do one of these. Let's do patches. So maybe I want to learn how to do patches right now on my machine. So I'm going to X out of that and go backwards. And patches, I already forgot the number. Maybe it was number 10. I can't remember. We'll do 10. So I'm going to come up here to the search key bar, I'm going to go 10 period space bar. The space bar is so important, guys. I don't know why, but for some reason, it just works really well. This is how I research all my videos. I'm going to select search, and there it is. Oh, okay, well, whatever. I missed the patches. Number 10, quilting with your embroidery machine. There we go. You got to remember the numbers. And there we go. And I can watch that video right there. So it's really easy if you kind of use those tips and you're just looking around. And that's why I have them all listed for you. So they'll be a lot easier to find. So I'll just got to add the next couple or the last couple that we've done, and I'll keep that updated. So hopefully that helps you guys. All right. Get to see my messy room and where the baby sleeps and all that. She didn't want to come in here tonight. Actually, I took her into the living room with her daddy. Okay. So, do I have any questions about anything that we went over tonight? I know it probably was a big jumble and it's kind of confusing because this is a weird new thing. But it's a really cool technique using those apps. They really are helpful. So thank you guys. I appreciate all your nice messages going on here. Well, if we don't have any questions, you can send me questions. This week should be better. I should be able to get back to your questions and not be so But want to tell you, if you're new to the group, thank you so much for joining. If you're an OG member, then thank you for staying. And I hope you guys all have a fantastic week. And we're getting closer to Christmas, so gonna be kind of fun coming up soon. So if you have any ideas of anything you want to see, just let me know. So do you do any updates on the app? You don't have to update the app at all. The app updates on its own, so you're good to go there. So, well, have a great week. I will see you next Sunday. So remember, shop local, shop small, and I'll see you next week. Have a great one, guys. Bye.